What is up, Ravens Flock? Huge shout out for your support for the 410 Sports Talk. James and Glenn are the best in the business. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel. Let's go Ravens. Big trust.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin. Glenn, we've been. It feels like it's been forever. It's been about 4 or 5 days since we've been back on the mics, but we are happy to be here. And of course, starting off with an announcement that the Baltimore Ravens have signed a new linebacker, Vince Biegel. Excited to talk about it, what it means for the Ravens. Before we get into breaking the signing down, take a second, give us a like, give us a subscribe, turn on your notifications, make sure you stay up to date. Glenn, what was your take on the signing? Talk to me about what type of player we get and all the above.
Yeah, so Vince Biegel is a linebacker, versatile linebacker. He can play inside and outside and has done so over his career. Came out of Wisconsin in, 2017 was his rookie season with the Green Bay Packers. And then he's bounced around to a couple teams. He played in New Orleans in 2018. Then he was traded in the Kiko Alonso trade that brought him to Miami. And then that's where he really kind of got to show what he had, Jimbo. In 2019, when he got to Miami, he played in 15 games, started 10 of them. He had 2.5 sacks. He had an interception. And he had 60 combined tackles. So he got a little taste of the snap life, because that's really the only time he got any defensive snaps in his career. He got a handful as a rookie, but nothing impactful. But yeah, he got 625 defensive snaps in 19. Then in 2020, he tore his Achilles in training camp leading up to it. So boom, this is all of 2020. And played sparingly in 2021. Just played in just 5 games and played almost exclusively on special teams. So sounds like a depth guy, Jimbo. Certainly a special teamer, which, as you pointed out before we hit the mics, the Ravens lost a lot of their special teamers. A lot of the guys that were kind of staples on that side of the football are now gone, and so they have to replace it with guys who can run and make tackles, and certainly a linebacker like Vince can do so.
Yeah, just to add to that, I totally agree. I think it's an under discussed part of the team, the turnover on special teams, in that, like, we've lost Co-Cap there, and then with Anthony Levine, and then most likely Justice Hill will not be back on the team. That's all speculation. I haven't heard anything, but it looks to be that way with all the linebackers we've either, with Mike Davis, and then obviously the draft
running backs. Yeah.
Or excuse me, running backs. Yeah. Yep. So, he doesn't look to be back on the team. All that being said, the Ravens need contributors on special teams, guys that can help, keep the unit together. They're obviously losing their captain from a special teams perspective. And then who knows, there might be other guys on special teams. Now they're like skilled guys, right? Punter, things like that. There's going to be a lot of turnover there. So solidifying that is going to be important. But I also wonder, everybody will be given a chance to compete. But right now, right? Like, if you're filling out the starting 11 on defense, you got PQ in there. Who do you have next to him?
Well, right now it's Josh Bynes.
For
sure.
you, is it Josh Bynes? Is there any way, like, obviously a lot of people bring up Malik Harrison, who was a disappointment last year, but he's a year older. Right.
I think the Ravens would love Malik to take the job, but Josh Bynes was a top 10 linebacker according to PFF last year, and one of the most underrated players in the league. Now, of course, he's at the end of his career, and what Malik Harrison, we don't know what his ceiling is, but we do know that in the short time he has been here, he struggled to get on the field and make an impact when he did get on the field. And then, of course, he had the issue where he was shot last year in his leg that caused him to miss a ton of time, and it looks like he's recovered fully from that, but he lost valuable time. And with Josh Bynes in the building, I don't see how Malik supplants Josh Bynes. Now, the question is, does Biegel make this team? Because when you look at the advantage he has is that he's a versatile player. He plays inside and outside, because the Ravens need a lot more help, at least on the outside looking in at the outside, than they do on the inside, because they do have Zacoby McClain that they got as an undrafted free agent out of Auburn. They still have Christian Welch. Like you mentioned, they still have Malik Harrison. They still got Atara Alaka on the inside. So they got some names, but I think Biegel has a chance to make the roster because of the versatility he provides.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I also wonder, I mean, he did have the 1 year where he had a bit of a breakout, right?
Yeah.
How much he'll give Josh a run for his money, right? Like maybe there's a chance that he really shows out in camp and takes a bigger piece of the pie when it comes to the snap count there in the middle as well. But like you said, I think his versatility helps him out tremendously. It's going to be really interesting to see how the Ravens utilize him. We'll know very early training camp and then obviously in preseason games how the Ravens plan on using this guy because he's going to get run and we'll see exactly where he's lined up. If they're lining him up at both, which I assume, it'll really come down to where he plays more, where he plays first, and then where he plays more. But it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know how much of a needle mover this is. It's not like front page news like a Jarvis Landry signing would have been or a Bradbury signing would have been, who, of course, just signed with the Eagles for 1 year and $10 million. And Jarvis, of course, going to the Saints. Nonetheless, the Ravens made a signing.
They made a signing.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what comes of it. Let us know what your guys' thoughts are. You like it? You don't like it? Is it underrated? Are we undervaluing this signing at all? Let us know what all your comments are below, and we'll talk to you soon.